Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and now you're all having a great day. To start things off, in a recent interview, the CEO of Pantera Capital, his name is Dan Morehead, spoke about the current scenario of the Bitcoin market as well as the pattern shown by the cryptocurrency industry. Speaking to crypto trader Ran Neuner, the chief executive officer stated that the current October that we have right now was very different from last October when Bitcoin started to rise to break the $19,000 barrier. According to Dan Morehead, the world of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies is a multi-decade concept, with the most important factor being looking out for the future. The Pantera official also stated that investors have to venture into the markets with a multi-year approach and should not expect immediate gains. One of the main queries posed to Morehead was the doubt cast upon the cryptocurrency market right now because of the number of people losing money in the space. Morehead was confident while stating that the patterns shown by the market right now have been seen before with varying degrees of changes. He also pointed out that the Bitcoin market was much more manic than other industries, as we've definitely seen before. He said, the people in Bitcoin space, as well as the overall cryptocurrency space, need to realize the concept of buy low and sell high. We have calculated the percentage of inflows and spikes and have realized that the investors just need to observe the market calmly and not experience FUD, end quote. The CEO went on to say that the Bitcoin market is basically a buy one, get two sale because of the price drop right now, which was met with rapturous laughter. According to him, the investor sentiment is basically controlled by FOMO, or by the FOMO devil, as he says, which forces a lot of people to get into the industry when the prices are high. I spoke about that before, and I mean, first off, a lot of people who are into crypto, a large slice of the pie, I will say, are typically people who have never really been into finance. One of the reasons why I actually like cryptocurrencies is because it's like an open market type of thing wherein you don't have to, like, if you've ever tried to sign up for or tried to buy hedge funds, mutual funds, stocks or bonds or anything like that, it's a very tedious process. But in order to buy cryptocurrencies, typically takes maybe like a couple of minutes depending on where you're trying to do it. It's a fairly easy process, and trying to get into the market is not as difficult as other places. So my opinion is that a lot of people who have gotten into the cryptocurrency space are relatively new to finance. And there's also there's two sides of it. People who are relatively new to trading, financial markets, investing, maybe even as well, typically they may understand the concept of buying low and selling high. But when it comes to a cryptocurrency industry on the other side of that coin as well, where people have been promised for quite some time that they're going to make millions and millions of dollars, a lot of people got into cryptocurrency, got into Bitcoin specifically because they were told that at some point Bitcoin was going to hit $1 million, and they probably thought it was going to happen in 2018 or even 2019. And this is why a lot of people feel little let down that prices haven't moved the exact way that they kind of wanted them to. But FUD, I hate the word FUD, but even just like FOMO in general is a very real thing. We all experience it at every single time, simply because in a scenario like if we look back even at 2017, let's say at the beginning of the year Bitcoin was $900. If someone had told you when Bitcoin hit 2,000, if you buy into the market now, Bitcoin is definitely going to hit 20,000, you would have looked at them like they were completely insane. So the fact that no one knows exactly how high Bitcoin multiplied by 20 just alone in 2017. So no one knows exactly how far things are going to go, especially when we have people now talking about that Bitcoin could potentially, within the next year or two, hit anywhere from 60,000 to 125,000 to potentially even $250,000. It's very difficult to not want to buy into the market when you see prices starting to go up. But I've how do I say this? I've refrained from saying this specifically in many other videos, as far as like, because I can't and I won't tell you that you should buy something and that you should put your money into something. This is what I always try to say. At least, do your own research so you have a better understanding of where your money's going and stuff like that. My personal feeling is I feel like the crypto market is so on sale right now. It's actually almost laughable. If you look at like on CoinMarketCap, and like you look at the charts and you look at where the prices were at the beginning of 2017 and you look at the end of 2017 as well, and you kind of see just how far things went, like the amount of how far the prices shot up. And in my head, we're definitely at some point going to hit these prices again. So when I see, I'm not going to name any specific coins, but there are a lot of coins that I definitely believe in, and they're floating around $3.50 $5.40. Some of them are like $2.80 and stuff like that. And you sit there and you're like, it's definitely going to get back to where it was before. And a lot of the projects I'm pretty certain are going to be monstrous, worth a couple $100 per coin within the next year or two. So I'd see the market as a very easy, my opinion, buy right now. And a lot of people, I think, are just waiting on this. And it's a shame because so many people are waiting on the sidelines for other people to buy into the market. People are once again waiting for these moments where the prices go up, and that's an indication to them that they should buy in. And this is usually always some type of an instance where prices end up going up so high, so fast, everyone else ends up buying in, and then prices end up slamming back down, and everyone bought around here when they should have been buying here the entire time. Like, if you believe in crypto and where the market is going to go, it shouldn't really matter. Like, if you're in it for the long term, you buying now or you buying a week and a half from now should have no real major difference whether prices are going up or down. At least that's kind of how I feel about this. There's been a lot of other people in the cryptocurrency space as well, like the major cryptocurrency bulls who've been mimicking this for months now. They're like, they don't understand why the prices are so low and stuff like that. But a lot of people don't mind that the prices are that low simply because they have a huge opportunity to be able to buy a lot more. Like, imagine if you had an opportunity to go back in time and buy Ethereum for months when it was sitting at $6 to $8 a coin. You would probably take the chance to buy up as much Ethereum as you possibly could. Alrighty, let's move on. So this is a bit of a very annoying situation for those who have been paying attention to the news the past year and a half or so. It says the man who killed net neutrality in the United States is racing up with innovations like blockchain to effectively regulate them. Ajit Pai, the chairman of the U.S. Federal Communications Commission, or the FCC, said that his office would be looking into the emerging technologies for their potential impact on the telecom sector, naming artificial intelligence, machine learning, and quantum computing alongside with blockchain. The 45-year-old telecom regulator added that their regulatory frameworks would evolve according to the growth of the firms in these dynamic industries. He said, "We don't have jurisdiction over these firms, but that's one of the things we are trying to learn about. What are the emerging technologies that will have an effect on this space, and how should our thinking about regulation evolve?" End quote. Known for his role in repealing the net neutrality law enforced by Barack Obama's government, Pai in internet pop culture became the nemesis of internet freedom. Not only did his decision give unruly powers to local internet providers, but it also threatened the citizens' freedom of speech on the internet. Technologists also cornered Pai for his lack of understanding of the Bitcoin technology after he wrongly named the digital currency for causing the network delays on the internet. I wish more people, my wish for Christmas is that people who don't understand Bitcoin can understand Bitcoin. The fact that we have the people who are there to regulate cryptocurrencies right now don't even understand what a blockchain is extremely worrying, especially if you're in the US. There should be a lot of red flags that are going off in your head when the same exact person who destroyed net neutrality and tried to take away free speech on the internet is now trying to regulate blockchain. The law against net neutrality, in a real sense, has been considered as a threat to the cryptocurrency industry. The companies in the space could be forced to withstand corporate censorships invoked by private deals with the ISPs. Pai's comments on blockchain came at a time when regulators are going two-face on the technology's prospect under a governed system. Pai's role as the FCC chairman limits his jurisdiction to the telecom sector, mainly including interstate communications by radio, television, wire, satellite, cable, and now by the internet too. Considering blockchain's dependence on the internet, it is likely that Pai and the public ledger technology would come face to face down the road. It is essential to understand that the US's ISPs have a monopoly on the market. Over 51% of Americans have one ISP to pick from, while the remaining 49% access the internet under the threat of throttling, that is the slowing down. The whole process is deeply anti-decentralized, which could hamper the growth of crypto sector as a whole. A financial giant in partnership with one of the ruling ISPs, for instance, could easily deprioritize a local fintech startup by limiting access to its services. These services could be anything from crypto-based remittance to blockchain-enabled record-keeping solutions. We as a whole, this is not just a U.S. problem, have a very big problem. For those, I won't even tell you his entire story. I would Google his name and type in like internet next to it, and you'll see exactly what happened. The fact that people thought, first of all, the point of the internet was, for those who don't know or have never really thought about it, the entire point of the internet was that nobody is supposed to own the internet. The internet is this free, open space where everyone should have the freedom to do as they wish, as it is a digital space, and therefore no one can control it to what you do. As time went on, especially when I was younger, people continuously said that there's this on the internet, there's that on the internet, we don't want this, our kids shouldn't be looking at this should not be happening, people should not be able to sell this. And this is when the government industries and offices, whatever you want to call them, came into the space and started saying, the internet's fine for everyone, but we're going to regulate this space, we're going to regulate this spot, we're going to regulate that spot. And now the entire internet is as it is, where everything is hyper centralized. If you say something on the internet, especially if you're on Twitter, on Facebook, and someone does not like what you say, they can delete what you are saying automatically, regardless of what it is. My opinion, I'm not going to even say an if in my own words. I have a feeling he's going to do everything in his power to try to regulate blockchain and try to make sure that the same exact thing that's happening with the internet right now, pretty much if you pay more, then you get quicker speed, which is a major problem, especially if you are a crypto or blockchain startup and you're trying to get out there. Unless you have the money, then you won't be able to have your product seen by everyone. This is incredibly dangerous. I'm happy that a large part of this has been rejected by other countries around the world, like as in other places around the world have not taken exactly what the U.S. has done and used it the exact same way, which is typically how the world works. I'm glad that other countries kind of saw through this. The problem is that, like I've said before, the U.S. is incredibly concerned right now on trying to make sure that blockchain and cryptocurrencies don't destroy the American mainframe system, economic power, whatever you kind of want to call it. If this does get passed, if this does actually end up happening and he does find a way to regulate blockchain, that will be the 15th nail in the coffin. For those who don't understand what that means, it's pretty much like the beginning of the end for cryptocurrencies, the cryptocurrency space within the United States. We've already seen so many companies already leaving the United States simply because of all the rules and all the things that have been put in place. If this actually ends up being put through, that's it. I think the U.S. is probably going to be like number 28 on a list of countries when it comes to who is like blockchain friendly and stuff like that. Kind of just how I feel on it. But the fact that this guy's involved, the fact that net neutrality was even smacked down in the first place is already very troubling. And at this point, my hopes have already diminished for the future of cryptocurrencies within the United States. Once again, my own opinion after I've been reading through all these things for the last couple of months, this is kind of how I feel about the entire situation. Alrighty, let's move on. Probably one of my favorite articles that I've read in quite some time. India Supreme Court, the country's apex court, has directed the central government to present its official stance on cryptocurrencies within 2 weeks. In a telling move that seeks to end the ambiguity over the legality of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin in India, the government has been ordered to release its report on the cryptocurrency sector by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has been inundated with multiple petitions filed by cryptocurrency exchanges and industry groups that have challenged a banking blockade enforced by the central bank in April, a crippling policy that has largely shuttered the domestic crypto sector. While the Reserve Bank of India, or the RBI, has issued multiple cautions against the use of cryptocurrencies over the years, from as early as 2013, they aren't illegal in the country. As reported previously, the Reserve Bank of India has shunned responsibility when asked to provide clarity on the legal stance of cryptocurrencies. It was a policy matter for the government, the central bank argued. According to an Economic Times report on Friday, a legal counsel representing 9 cryptocurrency exchanges demanded the government bring some clarity. They said, "We have got employees, there are jobs." Counsel Nakul Dewan for the sector argued in the same week wherein the co-founders of India's largest exchange, Unocoin, were arrested for installing a cryptocurrency ATM in the city of Bangalore. I didn't speak about this entire topic. I was going to in a video, but I was like, I can't deal with that type of information right now. What ended up happening is that people in India have been going through the laws and stuff like that, trying to figure out the legality themselves of cryptocurrencies, because the government and every other party involved has almost cursed. They've been too whatever. They just haven't give out the information that they should have done a long time ago. So people have been trying to figure out, in our own way, let's find what's legal and let's try and make sure that we try and push this forward. People were installing cryptocurrencies ATMs. They were Bitcoin, Ethereum, I think Litecoin, and also XRP ATMs around the city. And all of a sudden, the day that happened, like the day right after it, people were getting arrested, and like police were like forcefully uninstalling these ATMs. It's completely out of control right now. An advocate for the central bank countered by claiming that the authority was only trying to discourage the use of cryptocurrencies, insisting it was a policy decision for the government. The legality debate at the Supreme Court may be nearing its end. After hearing the arguments presented, the Supreme Court bench of justices has demanded the government place its position before the court in 2 weeks' time. Without reading any further, this also happened. I'm not even in India, and I'm so frustrated with the entire situation. It's just these people are cowards, and this is kind of what it comes down to. Whatever other word you decide to use for yourself, I don't understand why. And I told you before, one of the main reasons why all these other countries are doing this is because they're waiting for the final say from the United States. Everyone is so concerned about what the United States has to say, as opposed to everyone wants to be their own country, wants to be their own individual, and wants to have their own economic policies and stuff like that. But everyone rides on the back of the United States nonstop, so busy trying to figure out exactly what the U.S. is going to do, as opposed to just making your own laws and trying to bring economic sovereignty and peace to your own people. The point is, I think India in general, the people who are there for the laws, who are making the laws, have been waiting desperately for the United States to kind of say anything so that they can kind of well, the U.S. said this, so this is exactly what we're going to do. I hope this happens within the next 2 weeks. We haven't at this point had any like mandate or someone telling another agency that you have to do this within the next 2 weeks. India has backtracked so many times, talking about, first of all, to say that they aren't illegal in the country, but you're tearing apart Bitcoin ATMs and arresting people for installing them. That sounds like it's pretty illegal, especially when you don't tell people what is and what is not illegal, and then they get in trouble. And it's like, imagine like eating food on the street and then someone arrests you and they're like, this is illegal, and you're like, no, it's not. You're like, well, you should have known that it was illegal. You didn't tell me it was illegal, so there's clearly a problem that I did not know that's going on. Hopefully in the next 2 weeks, for those all in India, I'm sure this is more annoying to you than to anyone else. I hope this ends up getting resolved. I hope we have some type of clarity. This has gone on for way too long. You've also noticed that in other countries around the world as well, especially in the United States, a lot of people have been going up, especially in other countries as well. People have been going to their parliament or to Congress or to senators and stuff like that, and they're like, can you give us any type of information? People have been going to the SEC and to the CFTC as well. And the CFTC says that the SEC has to give information, and the SEC says that no, we can't give information because this is under the CFTC. And it's like, what's wrong with all these people? Like, what is the actual problem? Like, why can't any of you just give basic information for people inside of your country? I don't understand the level of whatever. Didn't mean to get out of hand there, but it's really like, there's such a high level of, and it's these same exact people as well who talk about that they don't want manipulation in the market. And it's like, if you don't give people laws and rules and structure for what they're supposed to do within your country for 9 months and the market ends up going down, that's your fault. That's you causing the market to go down. Like, that's not us. That's, so many people have said that the reason that the market is going down right now, it has been going down for such a long time, is that they said that it was institutions who are trying to get in and stuff like that, and so, and they said that the institutions won't come into the cryptocurrency market until we have some type of regulation. We don't have the regulation because the people who make the rules aren't giving the rules. What more can we ask for at this point? It's just absolutely insane. This, once again, ironically enough, lines up with the November deadline that we've had for quite some time now. At this point, it should be 4, 5, 6, 7, 21. I guess November 6th to the 8th, somewhere around that time. that should be the time that we have this. Hopefully they actually do it. I'm going to move on from this because it's just really intense. Like, I don't get it. I really am at a loss for understanding how this world is even working right now. Alrighty, let's move on. Also, very good news. As reported by CN Ledger, a trusted cryptocurrency news source in China, the country's merchants can legally accept crypto as a payment method. Yesterday, we were talking about that there was like a court ruling or something like that that ended up happening it had to be months ago, because the value that they had for Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash was at least a couple $100,000 off. So I assume that this is a court case that people are just getting documents about right now. But what's interesting is that people have been digging deeper into exactly what the document said as far as the ruling for this, and it actually is something that I've been talking about for quite some time. According to local reports, the Shenzhen Court of International Arbitration officially recognized Bitcoin as a property, allowing individuals and businesses to own and transfer Bitcoin without being in conflict with existing financial regulations. They said Chinese court confirms Bitcoin is protected by law. Shenzhen Court of International Arbitration ruled a case involving cryptos. Inside the verdict, CN law does not forbid owning and transferring Bitcoin, which should be protected by law because of its property nature and economic value, end quote. Catherine Wu, a cryptocurrency researcher at Mizari, translated and analyzed court documents released by the Shenzhen Court of International Arbitration to delve into the reasoning behind the decision of the arbitrator to consider Bitcoin as a property. In essence, Wu explained that due to the decentralized nature of Bitcoin that provides financial freedom and economic value to the owner, the asset can be regulated as a property. They said the party contends that Bitcoin has characteristics of a property SOV, can be controlled by the owner, and has economic value to the owner. It does not break any laws, this arbitrator agrees. This was said by Wu. As such, the court emphasized that regardless of the legality of Bitcoin and other major cryptocurrencies, the circulation and payment of Bitcoin is not illegal. That means merchants can freely accept cryptocurrencies as a payment method without breaking the local law. In the arbitrator's view, whether or not Bitcoin is legal, the circulation and the payment of Bitcoin is not legal. Bitcoin does not have the same rights as fiat, but that does not mean that holding or paying with crypto is illegal, end quote. This is the actual tweet from CN Ledger where they actually talk about it. The fact that Bitcoin has not shot up by 95% right now is confusing to me. We have more or less the information that Bitcoin is and has in some capacity always been legal in China. And not even that, that it can be treated as property and that it can also be used as a method of payment, which to me means, in essence, Bitcoin trading is illegal. Cryptocurrency trading is illegal, but using Bitcoin on a daily basis as a currency or a swap of value in exchange for a service or good is legal, which means that people in China can not only hold cryptocurrencies, but they can also buy it, and they can essentially also sell it as property, and they can also use it inside of stores to buy stuff. I don't know if this information just not has been released into the wild, if more people in China just don't know about it. Maybe everyone's asleep there. I'm not exactly sure, and I'm not even joking. The fact that we have news like this right now, part of the problem is that China completely exited from the market, like more importantly, cryptocurrency exchanges have left China simply because they were told that cryptocurrency trading inside the country is illegal. But nothing else is. There's not really much more I can say on that topic, like at all. The fact that we have news or information from a court who stated that Bitcoin is apparently legal in China and the markets have not gone crazy has me scratching my head. Hopefully this translates into price increases whenever the market does eventually go back up, because this would then legally mean that people in China can still buy and hold cryptocurrencies. And that's kind of all that I'm going to say on that, because we've had nothing but an enormous amount of good news for a while now. And the fact that markets haven't moved is a little weird to me. But let's move on from this. To finish things off, according to Al Kelly, who is the CEO of Visa, the company could support crypto in the future if the global market moves in the direction of embracing consensus currencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. In the short to mid-term, Kelly told Jim Cramer, who is the host of Mad Money, that cryptocurrencies as an asset class is not a threat to reserve currencies that serve as the basis of Visa's products, but, he stated, that as the adoption of cryptocurrencies improves in the years to come, Visa will facilitate the demand for the asset class. He said, I think there has to be some kind of market that it becomes somewhat like a fiat currency in order for us to be comfortable with. If it goes in that direction, we will move in that direction. We want to be in the middle, Jim, of every payment flow in the world, regardless of how it happens or what country is behind it. So if we have to go there, we will go there. But right now, it's more of a commodity than a payment vehicle. I'm going to get back to this in 1 second. Visa is the most influential credit card service company in the finance sector and is among the most profitable businesses in the market alongside MasterCard. In the long term, Kelly emphasized that Visa will eventually serve as a middleman to attract crypto users to send and receive digital assets with Visa on its platforms by providing fees to the company. However, by the time Visa would feel comfortable in integrating cryptocurrencies, which as the CEO described it as when the asset class is established, utilized by the mainstream, cryptocurrencies would not require middlemen to process payments. As it stands right now, cryptocurrencies already don't require middlemen to process payments, and that is part of the reason why we are in cryptocurrencies, because for those who are unaware, the main reason for cryptocurrencies is that we do not have to go through Visa. We do not have to go through MasterCard. We do not, if I'm sending you money, it does not have to take 4 or 5 days because someone else does not have to verify that I'm sending you the money, because Bitcoin and the blockchain and Satoshi Nakamoto, in essence, figured out exactly how this works. Figured out that we don't need a middleman. We don't need someone who wants to be in the middle, who will then charge us fees so that we can send our money back and forth. Part of the reason why this is interesting, and I fought within myself to try and figure out or to think if I should actually make a video like this. Not this one in, specifically, but there's something happening right now with Bitcoin in particular, and I don't know how many people would react to me making a video like that. And it has to do with pretty much all of this right here. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's not anything tinfoil hat. It's stuff that's actually going on right now that a lot of people don't know about, maybe don't want to know about. Also, it's probably going to become a major issue in the future, as it is. There are people in the Bitcoin community, and there are Bitcoin maximalists, if you want to call them that, quote unquote, who are already figuring this out. And it has something to do with the structure of Bitcoin and people making sure that Bitcoin has a middleman. So like I said, I have not decided if I'm going to make that video. It is definitely something that people need to hear, but probably not something that people want to hear. And that is a big issue in the cryptocurrency space. Whenever there is information, especially many times before in the past, I've made videos and people have screamed at me and written in bold and full caps lock as they've been telling me stuff. And then 3.5 months later, the information that I said actually ends up coming out to be completely true because I found information on it before and then I reported on it. Lo and behold, it was actually real. So maybe at some point, I don't know. The problem is that we have a situation right now where this is what I feared for quite some time as well, is that when major players did get into the cryptocurrency market, not only do they not want to understand it, first of all, the fact that they said, they don't consider it a big threat and they may eventually get into it if it becomes someone like fiat. My guess is not only are they already in the cryptocurrency space, but they're figuring out how to best position themselves to be able to continue to make money from this. Because as crypto stands right now, keyword right now, there are, you don't, the fees that we have on the network pretty much come down to the congestion in the network and having to, you can set your fees higher if you want your transaction to be pushed through first. But there is something afoot that is actually happening. Once again, this is not me speculating or saying that this is, maybe this is going to potentially happen. It's actually happening right now, and it could have a major impact on crypto. And the craziest part is that it probably won't even have a negative impact. It might even be something that is beneficial to the price of cryptocurrencies. But as far as the actual decentralization of the cryptocurrency space, it would be the, I don't even know, what can I say, like the golden arrow through the heart, the stake through the heart. It would be the thing that completely destroys the idea of crypto decentralization, but it would help benefit the price as well as benefit some of the richest people in the world who are, like I said already, these people don't care about cryptocurrencies. They could care less. The fact that nothing in his words said I care about decentralization and I would like for the cryptocurrency space to mature and for us to then use it then. It's the fact that he said that they want to be in the middle. They will only use cryptocurrencies when they act like fiat. And that pretty much means when they have complete control over it and they have completely cornered the market. This is when they will kind of get into it. Didn't mean to end it on a sour note, if you will. The moment the market's still completely moving sideways. This is why I said I was a bit confused after the China news that the Bitcoin should be up at least 95% by now. That is a major. I should have made a video where I just compiled all the good news that we've had over the last 6 weeks. It would have been about 348 tabs up here. Lo and behold, the market's still slinking sideways. I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, and or evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. Thank you once again for watching and or listening. I do appreciate all the support. Thank you once again. And yeah, I'll talk to you all soon. See you.